Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As a control player myself, I have a natural gravitation towards the Invoker mechanics. However, personally, I don't really play around with the Invoker mechanics because I felt that the Goku and the catastrophic blow mechanics is a little bit too cheap. Another issue that I have with the Invoker mechanics is that I kind of prefer the other Invoker leader than the Surge Goku ones. So you might be asking yourself, like, what is this guy talking about? The other Invoker leader? I'm talking about this guy. I've been putting it off playing with Android 17 for some time because I cannot make Android 17 work without using Goku and Catastrophic Blow to finished. The thing is, if I use Catastrophic Blow and Goku to finished, the Such Leader is actually a better option, so there is no reason to play Android 17 at all until now. With the help of Dropbox 5 cards and one Unison card from Series 10, I believe that we kind of cracked the code now. So without further ado, I am going to show you my take on the Invoker deck with Android 17 as the leader and also with Unison card mechanics inside without the Catastrophic Blow as a finisher. So see you guys after the short intro, alright? Hey guys, welcome back from the intro. Let's go straight and talk about my choices for this deck. And first up, the leader. Android 17, when this card attacks a leader card, you get to draw a card. And once per turn, you get to choose one Universe 7 card in your hands, you put it into drop area, then you draw a card. Awaken, if your life is 4 or less, you get to untap one and then you draw one card and put it into your hands. You flip this card over. So what does he do on his Awaken side? Also, when this card attacks, you get to draw a card. Activate main once per turn, you get to tap 2. You get to choose one of your opponent's battle card, return it into your opponent's hands. Pretty good because there's no cost limit. And more than just that, you get to choose one Universe 7 card in your drop area and then you add it into your hands. So this is the difference between this card and the Son Goku Such Leader. Son Goku Such Leader, it's a little bit more focused on extra card, but this one it's more focused on battle cards because you can bring extra card back with Such Leader's ability. However, with Android 17, if you tap 2, you get a little bit more bot control, and then you can put any Universe 7 card into your hands. I argue that should be your super combo. In Activate Main once per turn, if there are 9 or more extra cards or Universe 7 card in your drop area, this card gets an additional 5k double strike crit for the duration of the turn. He becomes pretty difficult to deal with, 20 double strike crit when he swings for nothing if you have 9 or more. So that's what we want to do. We want to play with more battle cards so that we can use Android's ability to activate main to do this recycle and draw, and then we can put it back into our hands if we want to. And at the same time, we want to reach that 9 or more extra cards and battle cards so that we get the double strike crit. Yep. And how are we going to do that? We're going to do that with the Unison card, Xeno Cosmic Unison. And this one is very, very good in this deck. Activate main once per turn. If your leader card is mono blue, you get to place 2 the top cards of your deck as your energy. At the end of the turn, the energy needs to go down into your drop area. So this really just encourages more monocolor play. The reason is because if you have multicolor cards and then it goes into your energy, it comes in tap because it has energy exhaust unless you play the check land, right? Unless you're so lucky. But it also has a downside that you don't know what it is gonna be. However, this card is just gonna be so perfect in this deck because we are gonna have access to Tournament of Power Arena. Tournament of Power Arena negates everything that the +2 has for Xeno. And we are gonna reap all the advantages while we negate all the disadvantages. Let me explain. Tournament of Power Arena field, if your leader card is a Universe 7 card, you negate the energy exhaust of your red and blue multicolor card in all areas. That means that if you slap it in and it's a multicolor card, which is red and blue, which all our cards are red and blue anyways, the energy exhaust is negated. So it comes in active and you can use that energy. Second, activate main. If your leader card is Universe 7, you get to switch this card to rest mode. You look at top 3 and then you can see which card that you want, and then you can rearrange, and then or you can put it at the bottom of the deck. That means you are no longer putting an energy blind. You are going to pick which one that you want to be in your energy. You put it on top of the deck, use Zeno, then you put it down as your energy because you know what it is. At the end of the turn, that thing goes into your drop area. So, and you said that, wow, that is a really good combo. Now I have extra energy, I can use that energy, and yeah, what else can we do? Let me tell you what else can you do. Because you can now dictate what goes into energy, and that energy has to go down into your drop area. It serves another purpose. It gives your leader that +9, that 9 cards, right? Because every single turn now, an extra card goes into drop area. So you're getting closer and closer to 9. So basically, this is the combo. Android 17 leader, tournament power, Zeno really just works together very, very well. We're off to a good start. And I'm gonna let you in a secret. This is gonna be the first deck I am gonna be playing with 60 cards. And then there's definitely a lot of downside with playing cards that are with 60 because you have less chances of drawing. So I'm gonna go into some math here to explain why I'm gonna play 60 and why the advantage is just way more if you're playing with 60. So the first one. Because of the deck size limit, if you're playing with 50, you can't play everything 4 off. So, for example, Tournament Power is a card that you really want to be in your hands. You really want it to be in your hands, you really need it. However, when it comes to 50 cards, if you have played 3 off Tournament Power because you have deck size limit, your chances of having it in your starting hand without mulligan is 32.4%. With mulligan, it moves up to 40 something percent, which is it's pretty good. However, if you're gonna play with 60 cards, because now you have the increased deck size that you can put in more copies of the card, we are gonna, if we play 4 off, you get a 35.1%, and it's even higher if you have a chance to mulligan. So you want to guarantee that you have tournament power in your starting hand in turn 1. Yeah. So another problem with playing 60 cards is that when you are drawing your cards, you kind of get less chances of drawing into your cards, right? Because you have less card now in your drop area. You have more cards now in your deck, then you kind of have less chances of drawing. However, let me explain to you. So you're correct. If you are playing with 50 cards and you have 4 cards, 4 of the same cards inside, your chances of drawing into the card after you draw your starting hands, every single turn you draw that 1 card, is 11.1% to draw 1 card of a card that you want. However, when you are playing with 60, if you're playing 4 off, the number goes down to 8.7%, which is it's pretty bad. So that's something that we don't want. But this is different. The difference here is that we are playing with Tournament of Power Arena. Tournament Power Arena lets you look up to top 3 to place what you want on top. So 60 cards, 4 off, because of the increased deck size, I want to emphasize again, you can play 4th, because now you can play more of it. Your chances of drawing into the card that you want is 24.4%. If you're playing 50, because of the limit in deck size, you can only play 3 off of a certain card. With Tournament Power Arena is 23.6%. So math, even though it's 1 or 2% more, maximum is it's just an increase of 2%, 2.7%, it is still an advantage. And for example, Sleepy Boy Technique is such a good card, and you don't have the ability to recycle the card. That's why I want to play more of a certain card so that I can do it again and again and again and again. Yep, get it? So that is why we are playing with this. So now, after all the math and after I explain Zeno, Tournament of Power Arena, and our leader, how it works together, I'm going to show you our game ender. This is a card that I always want to play in this deck because 1 is theme, and it's just a pretty good card in my opinion. So 7 drop. So it's really hard to get, but with Zeno now, it's just so much easier because now you are kind of could play something which is a turn earlier. So Android 17, Turning the Tide, what does he do? He's a critical, he has deflect, so he's gonna hit when he comes down. When you play this card, choose all cards in your hands, your opponent's hands, all battle cards in your opponent's drop area, and shuffle them back into the attack. So if they're playing something which is drop area shenanigan, you could do something like that to stop them. And if they have Sparkling, good luck. If they have Sparkling, good luck, it's not gonna happen. Alright, so Android 17, when he comes down, you are guaranteed to hit that 1 critical. And then you may say, Sensu Pop, it's 1 crit. And so we really need to get that guy down into 1. Then we put this. Is it true? No. Because remember, your leader also have double strike crit, and your leader allows you to draw 1. So if your opponent is down to 3, basically it's a GG, because you can use Zeno, put in that 1 energy, gets up to your 7, and then slap him down. Now your opponent has no hands, no cards in hands. You have no cards in hands. However, you can draw 1 with Android 17. You can swing with Android 17 if you want. It doesn't matter because it's double strike crit. And then you can swing with Android 17, turning the tide just for that 3 final crit damage to finish the game. And if he has blocker, you kind of have to deal with the blocker. But you have to know that Zeno's ability, the second one, the +5, which is very difficult to get to, remove all cards in your battle area. Alright, so even if your opponent has 4, and assuming that you have 4 lives, and you assuming that you have Invoker Vegeta on the board, Invoker Vegeta, you could swing with your leader, do that 2 damage crit, draw a card, swing with him, do that 1 damage crit, draw a card, then swing with Invoker Vegeta to finish the game. So with anything on the board, if he does not have blocker, he is finished. Right. However, we do have other win cons in case this one doesn't fire up. We have this Son Goku and Vegeta Apex of Power. I think you should have known this card. He has Invoker, but just go and read up about this card. I'm not going to go into details, but one thing is, if you've played, because you're going to have so much energy in this game, when you play this card, what you can do here is that if he doesn't die, he has Invoker, so he is a good thing. Your opponent would want to take out this card. Your opponent would want to, right? And if your opponent tries to take out this card, it is going to be such a bad thing for him. You know why? Because he is a Universe 7 card, so you can tap 2 and bring him back into hands and recast him again. So that would be a big mistake if your opponent tries. If your opponent doesn't want to take out this card, he has to deal with a victory strike every single time you swing. So this deck gets very oppressive if you can get it to go, right? Once your Invoker comes in, I will argue that things are working out fine. Yep. And then we're gonna play with Son Goku Instinct Surpass. Also, I seldom use this card. Usually it's this 2 card that does all this damage. This card does a lot of work though. When he comes down, your opponent's screwed. That's it. But this is it. Alright, so that's basically how I end the game. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about some combos that you can do, mainly with this activate main once per turn. One of the weaknesses of this leader is his ability to self-awaken. So if you're gonna play with someone who doesn't swing, it's gonna be quite a problem. So that's why we're gonna play 4 copies of Piccolo, Namekian Fortification. He is a Universe 7 card that you can swing and then you take 1 life, you know, yada yada yada. But the one trick that you can do, that instead of using him to swing or play him hard custom, what you can do here is you get to activate main, and then you use this guy Android 17 Rebel. You get to pick him, then you put it into drop area, you draw a card. When your opponent swings during your turn, you use this guy and negate it. And because you counter attack, you negate the attack. When you play this card, then you choose up to 1 red battle card with energy cost of 1 for your drop area, and then you play him. So discard him with his activate main, draw 1. When your opponent swings, negate, put him back into board so that you can swing him next turn, and then you take 1 life into your hands. Alright, and one last thing, when it comes to activate main, this guy really puts in a lot of work in my deck, because you're gonna have a lot of energy. So you can activate main, put this card into your drop area, and then you get to draw a card. Put him in your drop area, it's really good. And activate main plays pay 3, and then you play this card from your drop area, so you have a barrier blocker that is gonna help to defend something which is double strike, triple strike from your opponent. So he's very difficult to get rid of, and he's 20k, and if your opponent is gonna swing with the Unison card or leader card, they need to go over just to take care of this guy. And if this guy goes into drop area, tap 3 and comes back. If it stays in the drop area, it feeds your leader +9 anyways. Activate main +9, activate your awakened leader first before putting him on the board, so that you get your crit, double strike, crit, and +5k. Yeah, so this is something. Now we're going to talk about Invoker technique, because the Invoker mechanics, because this is an Invoker deck. Of course, we're going to talk about SSB Vegeta Inspire technique. These are your defensive option. You get to play a lot of Sleepy Boy. Sleepy Boy is so good. Emperor Death Beam is so good. Royal Condemnation is so good. But I'm going to play only 2 copies of We Are In This Together. The reason is that it is very situational, 25k and below, without barrier. However, it has the ability to recycle, so you can tap tap 1 red, and then put it back into your hand. So you could always put it back into your hands. You're gonna have a lot of energies anyways, so this is gonna be fun. One thing about Emperor Death Beam is it's activate main and activate battle, so you could literally just do it. One of the tricks that you can do is you could fake a tap out from your opponent, and your opponent swings with something, and then you could use your Beerus super combo, which untaps 1 during your opponent's turn. Beerus super combo, tap 1 Emperor Death Beam minus 30k from, and pop your opponent's game ender if it's under 30k. Yep. And if your opponent takes out Frieza, your Vegeta, we are gonna have Beerus and Whis, and then which comes in when your Vegeta is taken out, and so it provides you with an Invoker in play, so that you're defending yourself, and it draws your card at the end of the turn and tyranny cost. And if your Vegeta is taken out the next turn, tap 2, bring it back into your hands. Yep, so that's pretty good. Tyranny cost, I play 4 because it just draws 2 cards and makes your opponent doesn't have anything more than 10 in their hands. Yep. One of the things that is a weakness to this deck is Mecha Kabuto, because your opponent could name Vegeta, 3 cost and 19k, and that's it, you cannot play him. So you can play the other Invoker Frieza, maybe sideboard him, and use that. And with that Invoker Frieza, your opponent Mecha Kabuto couldn't really take the Frieza because he would name this Vegeta. However, then you have Beerus and Whis, which helps if that card that does not have barrier gets taken out, then Beerus and Whis could come in. That's something that you can do. Yeah. So this is the deck list, and this is the amount of cards that I play. You notice that there is no Senzu Bean. So after play testing, I really would recommend you to consider these 3 cards to put it in: Senzu Bean, Black Smoke Dragon to change the more aggressive apex of power, but it's not Universe 10, so you can put it back into your hands. However, it has more ability for you to use. And Piccolo Namekian Lineage for a little bit more defensive option. He's 1 cost technically, and then it can protect your Unison card, and at the same time you get to add 1 blue or red multicolor extra card. So bring back your Sleepy Boy and put it into your hand so that you can negate and draw 2 and bounce something on your board at the same time. So it's really good. Yep. And what's 1 card that you can take out is this Android 17 Rebel Reinforcement. I don't really play him. 2 energy, it's a little bit too much in this game, and it's 1 red. That is the problem. It's 1 red, and with that 1 red, I would say that, you know, it's just much better playing Sleepy Boy or things like that. So I think it's just better either to have Senzu Bean or more blockers on the board, and you could even like recycle your Sleepy Boy technique or your Emperor Death Beam if you need it, or Royal Condemnation if you need it. So this is just so much better than this 1 guy. Alright, so guys, this is the end of video. Drop me a like if you like what you were saying here. I think this is a pretty fun one, right? I mean, it's Invoker, but you add some flavor of your own in this. So this is what this channel is about. So I hope you like the deck profile. Stay safe, stay healthy, everybody. See you guys in the next video. Alright.